Hello everyone, this is TMG here. This is not a video I was going to film, but I just decided I would. I don't have a lot of time these days. School starts up again in a few days. Christmas was just this last week, and this is what I got. Now, I've heard there's a lot of controversy around Metroid Prime 4, which kind of surprises me because I played the game and I absolutely love this game. It's quite amazing. And I heard a lot of people saying that not just the original trilogy is still better, but Metroid Prime 1 specifically. I have 2 copies of Prime 3, by the way. This is the copy that got me into the Prime games, and then I got Prime Trilogy. Anyway, and honestly, if anything, this is at least on par with those games. I don't think there is a best Metroid Prime game. They're all equals. Before playing this game, I played through Prime 3 again, because before I played Prime 4, I wanted to get through Prime 3. Just so I could have a feel going into the sequel, how it evolves mechanics, maybe even story. Excuse me. And then I played Prime 4, and wow, it is such a good game. It's such a unique game, too. And I really love that. I really like games that have a unique feel to them. And then I went back. I played this last week when I got it for Christmas. It took me a few days to get through. It was a blast. Then I saw a lot of people saying Metroid Prime 1 is number 1, still the best in the series, and number 2, better than Prime 4. So I said, okay, I'm going to go back and play Metroid Prime 1. So that's what I did over the past 2 or so days. I went through Prime 1 again, and I'm actually starting up Prime 2. Just started that today, but the reason I bring this up is I played through Prime 1 again, and I do not think it is a better game. It is a different game. It has... here's the thing. I think a lot of people have a very specific idea of what they want a Metroid game or a Metroid Prime game to be, and if it even steers a little bit off course, all of a sudden in their eyes it isn't as good. Metroid Prime 2 and 3, they shook up the formula a little, and I love those games just as much as the first one, maybe even more in some aspects. But compared to the 2D games, Metroid Prime 1 is the most similar to the 2D games, which makes sense. It was the Metroid series' first venture into 3D. It made sense that they played things a little safe and similar, but if anyone knows Retro Studios, is that they have a lot of creative integrity and a lot of integrity when it comes to designing new gameplay and mechanics. They're not one to reuse or recycle, the same ideas. They don't make iterative games, Like, for example, let's see if I can find it. These 2 games, let's see. Is this the right order for you guys? I don't know. Let me look at this looks right. They introduced a lot of new gameplay mechanics. The story was different from the classic Rare DKC games, but I think they're just as good, if not better, in many ways. It was a bold move not to bring back K. Rool, but I think that was a good decision in the end, because it made these games more unique. Retro Studios isn't one to, they don't make games like New Super Mario Bros. Like, they're not going... I think the issue is a lot of people want Retro Studios to make Metroid Prime 1 again, but they're not going to do that, and personally, I don't think they should. Because, from a game developer standpoint, that's very boring to just make the same game again. Maybe a different plot or something, but fundamentally the same game. That is a really boring idea. And it does not have a lot of integrity when it comes to game design. And I much prefer something like Metroid Prime 4 as a sequel. I think this is a perfect sequel to the original trilogies. I wouldn't change anything about this. It has NPCs. You know what? I don't care, because I actually like them. The truth is, I think people they've created this own definition for Metroid games in their heart that prevents them from allowing new things into the series, such as NPCs. They don't think it's a true Metroid game if Samus isn't 100% isolated. I think that's kind of silly because playing this feels like a Metroid game. This feels like a Metroid Prime game, and if it's true that NPCs ruin that, then it shouldn't feel like those things. Yet it does. It fits in perfectly. And this is unscripted, if you couldn't tell. I don't think isolation is what defines the Metroid series. I think maybe it's a sense of mystery. Maybe it's the feeling of isolation, but when you're not actually isolated. Now, that phrase might not make sense, but just think about it for a little. Think about, like, Metroid Fusion when the shadows of Nightmare are flying by. Or, in this game, yes, there's more NPCs. You talk to NPCs more than you ever had in any other Metroid game. Yet, it still feels kind of isolated. Why? Because it's you and these, few other characters that are stranded on this planet Vuros, possibly know where they're humans, or, So, I don't think it's about Samus being alone. I think sometimes it's a little bit more about the feeling of isolation rather than true isolation. And, like, with Metroid Prime 3 as well. Sometimes, the Aurora unit contacts you, or you get the occasional message, you bump into the occasional NPC. It still feels like a Metroid Prime game. And, while I wouldn't say you feel as alone or isolated in this one, I wouldn't say it's any less of a Metroid Prime game or a Metroid game. Because there's still a sense of mystery, there's still a sense of the unknown, of danger that comes with, like, Phazon. And it is these games that make me reevaluate what is a Metroid game. Because I'm starting to think, well, isolation does play a key role in many past Metroid games. I don't think it is what defines it. And I think the Prime games really showcase that in a lot of really good ways. And this isn't a review of Prime 4. I'll probably make that in a few months. It takes forever to edit videos like that. And also, I'm a college student. I don't got time for that stuff. Also, speaking about Soul Valley while I can, there's been a lot of... I have this amiibo, but I still have not scanned it into this game. I was so engrossed in this game that it never even crossed my mind that I could scan this amiibo into the game. I still don't even know if it works. I have not scanned it in yet. People say that Soul Valley has no music. That's not necessarily true. It definitely has an ambient, sort of eerie tune to it that really gives it like a very haunting vibe. I think the name Soul Valley really fits. So saying there's no ambiance or music, I don't think that's true. And I do not think you need to buy this amiibo in order to get the full experience. Because, as I said, it didn't even cross... I got this amiibo the same day I got the game. I still don't even know what it really... I've heard that it makes music play in the desert, but I don't know the specifics of what it does. That's general, because I have not tested it. All I'm saying, if you haven't played Prime 4 because of that is... Don't worry about it, because the game is still just as engrossing or fun as... I probably misuse language or whatever, who cares, as the other Metroid Prime games. So, I went back and replayed the first game. I'm a good chunk of the way through the second game. I played the third one before I played the fourth one. And yeah, this game absolutely stands up. If you ask me, it's the best game Nintendo's released in quite a few years. Yeah. So if you have my pick for the best game of 2025, it is most... Well, if I can't drop it. Most certainly Metroid Prime 4. It is a great game. I couldn't recommend it highly enough. I guess I won't talk about the lore much here. We'll save that for a review of the game. I will say Psylux is a villain. He might be one of my favorite villains in the Metroid Prime, or Metroid series in general. Like, before maybe it was Mother Brain, Ridley, Kraid, but I don't know, Psylux may have just took the top spot, or Raven did. But I mean, he's a very interesting and impactful villain. And this game ties things up nicely for the trilogy, but it also definitely leaves room for a sequel. So I think whether or not this is the last one or there's a sequel, either way it fits, it works. I could definitely see ways they're setting up Psylux, but I could also see ways how this ties up the loose ends in the previous three games, Because there's no end credit scene of, I guess it's a little spoiler. There's no end credit scene of, like, Silex popping up out of nowhere through a wormhole. But, you know, that could definitely happen. They could just be leaving, space for a sequel. Pew, pew, pew. But that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and, you know, if you didn't like Prime 4, that's okay. The truth is, I know there's many different types of gamers, we all have different preferences. A lot of people like series that are very redundant, do the same things over and over. And personally, that's not me. I like series that are willing to try things new, and I think in the case of the Prime games, it's paid off in almost every way. Made the series better than it could have been if they just made Metroid Prime 1 over and over and over. And, you know, I hear a lot of people say the first one is the best, but, you know, after replaying the third one, getting a good chunk of the way through the second one, and playing the fourth one, it's at most equals with those games. Thing is, with the Prime games, they're all so close in quality and in fun. You know, whether one is the best is really up to personal preference. It's a lot like the Donkey Kong Country games in a way. A lot of people love the third one, a lot of people like the second one, a lot of people like the first, Returns of Tropical Freeze. They're all good. And there's definitely solid reasons that all of them could be the best, but the truth is it's up to personal preference. But yeah, what this game has confirmed to me, number one, it's a great game. It's also confirmed to me that I think Retro Studios is probably my favorite development team at Nintendo. You know what I mean? Or modern development team. They still got the magic, you know. I feel like a lot of dev teams at Nintendo have lost the magic over the years. I feel like the Mario series is not as interesting as it used to be. I'm not completely sure what to think about Bonanza, but Retro Studios, they still know what they're doing. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you have a good rest of your day. If you haven't played Metroid Prime 4, I hope this is what you need to play it. If you disagree with me, that's great. The truth is, a lot of people like to argue with me on the internet, but I don't care, because if you let people's comments on the internet determine whether or not you enjoy a game, you're not gaming right. So, you know, if you disagree, go share it in the comments, but let's be nice about it. Because, you know, in the end, who cares what games I like? Who cares what games you like? We just like the games we like. But yeah, that's it for this video. Prime 4 is an excellent game. I highly recommend it. My favorite game of 2025, for sure. That's come out this year, for sure. Or even probably the past 3 or 4 years. I mean, ever since... This might be the best game since Tropical Freeze, man. That was a Retro Studios game, too. What do you know? I don't know. I'd have to go look at my games to decide that. Bowser's Fury was a pretty good one. Not the biggest Mario Odyssey fan, though. It's okay. But yeah, that's it for this video. Yeah, I hope... I keep thinking I'm going to have something more to say, but I don't. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. TMG out. Goodbye.